Do not fear. We will see Mike Tyson in the ring. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle news update. We were just talking about the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight that's going to be taking place in July. And, we were debating, is it going to be a real fight? Is Tyson going to be allowed to knock this guy out? There's a lot of controversy swirling around whether this thing's a real deal or not. But evidently Mike Tyson was on an airplane and he was in severe enough distress that they had to call for a doctor on the plane. And it appears, at least what the medical reports are, is that he has an ulcer that is irritating him, or was irritating him enough that he was in enough pain that he was, starting to panic a little bit. Now, the closest that we can, make a comparison in the bodybuilding world is, if you remember a few years back, the late, great Sean Roden had stomach ulcer issues as well. He was in agony, a lot of pain. He was actually coughing up blood and stuff like that. And so an ulcer is basically the lining of your stomach is irritated in some way where it's actually ulcerated through. So the lining that normally protects the stomach has been somehow, compromised, and the underlying tissue is now being irritated by the stomach acids that are being produced in there. Now, I'm not trying to take a shot at Nick Trigili because I think we're good, but Nick Trigili did report that the liver produces stomach acids and the gallbladder stores it and releases it. That's not true.
So ulcers are sores that accumulate in your small and large intestine, your colon, right? It's due to having low stomach acids when you're extremely acidic. Now, why do you have low stomach acids? Because your liver and your gallbladder are under a tremendous amount of stress. Now remember, your liver is what creates the stomach acid for your stomach. The gallbladder stores it and releases it.
The liver produces bile and the gallbladder stores that, and it's released not into the stomach but into the small intestine. The stomach itself, the lining of the stomach, produces hydrochloric acid, stomach acids, as well as the digestive enzymes that digest protein, which is what goes on in the stomach, and it goes on in an acidic environment. So those digestive enzymes that are in the stomach don't not get activated unless there's an acidic environment. The problem is that if the lining of the stomach is compromised in some way, where it's open and exposed, those acids will cause a burning sensation there. Now, they've found in recent years that a lot of stomach ulcers, almost most of them, I think they would say, are caused by H. pylori, which is a bacterium that somehow penetrates the stomach lining and starts irritating and breaks it down. And they found that by giving antibiotics to knock out this H. pylori, that will get rid of stomach ulcers. In the past, people just dealt with ulcers for years and years and years, and a lot of times it progressed to stomach cancer. Because if you don't treat these, they can cause cancer long term. So I don't know if this is the first time he's been diagnosed with them, or he's been dealing with them, or if this is like a first time occurrence and he didn't know he had them. I'm assuming they're going to probably put him on antibiotics and give him a very bland diet to kind of give the stomach lining a chance to heal itself up a little bit, like they did with Sean. And I'm sure probably within a few weeks he'll be back in action. I'm sure he's going to continue training through this. It's just very uncomfortable. And it's obviously, you never want to be in an airplane when you're in severe distress like that. And if he didn't know that he had them and he wasn't aware of what was going on, that certainly could lead to, someone panicking and getting a little nervous, like, uh-oh, what's going on with me? This is not normal. So I don't think that people are asking, is the fight off? Is the fight off? This is Tyson, his excuse to get out of the fight. I don't believe this is the case at all. I don't think Tyson's afraid of any man or anything on this planet, aliens and the like. I doubt that's a reason. I think Mike actually was in legitimate distress, and maybe he ate something, on the plane that irritated his stomach, and that made it worse. I'm sure we'll get the whole story once it's released. But it's important to understand that anyone can get a stomach ulcer, and so if you're experiencing pain in your stomach, stabbing-like sensation, if you notice it gets worse when you eat, spicy foods or drink any kind of alcohol, if you do, you might have a stomach ulcer, and they put an endoscope down into your stomach, they check it out, and they'll treat you with antibiotics. And it's a very curable thing, so there's no reason to suffer with it. There's no reason to just not go to the doctor. Check it out. It's very easily treatable early on. If you let it go too long and it progresses to something like stomach cancer, you're going to be screwed. So that's not something that you want to do. And I'm sure Mike's condition is going to be treated as aggressively as possible. Once again, I know Mike doesn't want that fight canceled. I'm sure they're making a lot of money on that fight. So do not fear. We will see Mike Tyson in the ring. Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.